It is the 19th day of July. It is 2020. It is Sunday. I just left church. It is so hot here in the mid-Atlantic. We have a extreme heat advisory, which means temperature-wise over 100, but it's the humidity that always gets you here in this part of the country, which I'm sure there's humidity all over, but there's a dry heat and then there's a hot, sticky, heat, and that's what we're under here. So, anyways, it just makes you, thankful that you have the ability to be inside today with air conditioner, because there is people that do not have a home in this country and throughout the world that don't have air conditioning. We have a lot to be thankful for in this country. We have a lot to be thankful for, that a lot of people are so spoiled that they just don't think about things that come so naturally in life to them, because they've grown up with air conditioning, they've grown up with cable television, and some of these younger people with the internet and computers and video games, and they don't get it. They don't understand what it is to be grateful. You see these people out in Portland and all these other cities, they just don't understand, what it is to be thankful, what it is to give thanks to God for what you have. Not only that, all the sacrifices that's been made by prior generations to get us where we're at today. I mean, think about the guys that shipped overseas that I'm sure didn't want to go at some point in time. They didn't want to leave their wives or their children, but they were told to. And so they did what they were told to do. You think this generation today would do anything for America? No. They hate America. They spit on it. They burn the flag. They don't want nothing to do with Jesus Christ. They don't want nothing to do with God. They despise all of that. They want what they want, and that's it. And who cares about anybody else? That's the problem with the younger generation. It's all about me. They don't care about anybody else's wants or needs. If Black Lives Matter and all them groups really cared about black lives, they would be up in arms about the masses of deaths in these cities, black on black murders. They really were upset. They would have been totally calling out that black retired police captain that got murdered in St. Louis during the riots. But you never hear anything, because it's all about me. It's about what you can do for me. I don't want to do nothing for you. What are you going to do for me? And that's the problem with this younger generation. I see it more as a godless problem, lawlessness, absolutely. But I see it more as having no respect for God, no reverence for the Lord, no respect for the Word of God, none. And when you don't have any respect, you don't have anything. You have nothing. When you don't respect your mother and your father, like the Bible tells you to honor thy mother and father. It is one of the 10 commandments, mind you. And a lot of these young people don't do that. They don't care what their parents try to teach them or try to tell them. You know why? Because they know better. At 18, 19, 20, a lot of these young ones out here doing all this rip snorting and tearing, they're between 18 and 23 or so. They know it all. They've been there. They've done that. They don't need God. They don't need to read the Bible. They don't need none of that, because they know better. They know better. They don't need capitalism. They don't need none of the Constitution. They don't need none of that. They want their communism. They want everything handed to them on a platter for free. They don't want to work for nothing. They don't know what the word sacrifice is. Remember, God said, if you don't work, you don't deserve to eat. A lazy man does not deserve to eat. And a lot of these young people, now I'm not I don't want to throw every one of them into the same boat, because that would be truly wrong. Because I have nephews of that age, and they work hard, and they save their money. But then again, they were brought up in a Christian home. They were brought up to give reverence to the Lord. That's the difference. Not that they're better than any of them out there. Not saying that. Don't even think that I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is, by being brought up in a home to give reverence to the Lord, you have that respect instilled in you. You know, you could still be a little idiot. You know, there's a lot of ones at 16, 17s that are, little know-it-alls. We all know them, have some in our family. But when they've been raised in a home and they've been taught right from wrong, okay, they take that on through life. Now, again, they can still get into problems. They can still but more often than not, they will revert back to what they've been taught growing up. What we're seeing today with these kids out here, and I call them kids because they're late teens, early 20s. That's a kid to me. They're just out destroying. They have no respect for people's property, no respect for you, no respect for me. Look at that poor woman that said, all she said was all lives matter, which is the truth, because God made man in his own image. We're all his children. Every one of us, black, white, every one of us. And she got a bullet in her head for saying that. That is the disrespect that I'm talking about. That is the godlessness that I'm talking about, that we're seeing in these streets. Why do you think so many of these that grow up to be atheists and whatnot, they want to have crosses removed from roadsides? They don't want to see a Christian sign, saying, come to such and such church and services at such and such time, Jesus is your Lord. They fight with city councils to have signs removed. We had it here in Maryland. We had the Peace Cross that had been up for decades. It was a World War I memorial. Okay, a war over 100 years ago. And they fought to have that cross removed. It was a big concrete, I guess it was made out of concrete, that's what it looked like, cross. And it was a memorial to all of the fallen in that war, all the destruction, the death, the carnage. And some atheist drove by one day, thought, you know what, that's appalling. I don't want to see a cross when I go to work or wherever. He went and complained to the city council, and they were going to tear it down. But thank God, some people that respect God, that respect his word, said, no, we're going to fight you. And I believe they took it to court and won, because the cross was not removed. But now they're tearing down everything anyways, and I know they're going after statues of Jesus Christ. And I made a video about that, about not being angry. Yes, it's ignorant. It's extremely ignorant. But Christ is not in that concrete statue. You're not praying to a concrete statue. You're praying to your Lord and Savior. Okay? He lives in every one of us. It's just most don't want to accept it. That's the difference. So, we have to realize that this is when you get down to the root of the problem, this is what it is. This is what's going on in America with our youth, our younger people. No respect, have no feelings about anything or anybody that don't agree with their whatever it is they believe today, because next week they'll believe something else. Then if you don't believe exactly every little thing that they adhere to at that moment in time in history, well, then you're every name you can imagine being called, from the names, the racists, the bigots, all the names. And again, it comes down to godlessness in this country. I keep coming back to the same thing in a lot of my videos, and that's, America turning its back on God. And you're going to continue, and I'm closing with this, you're going to continue to see these same exact problems fester and manifest all over this nation until Americans come back together, until Americans go back to church and give glory and give reverence to the Lord, it's just going to keep happening. It's just going to be a repeating cycle over and over and over and over again. It's going to be a complete cycle. And you see the sad death of that gentleman in Minneapolis that kicked all of this off. Look how many black guys have been killed after Mr. Floyd. And look how many protests have been about that. None that I know of. See, they don't care about that. It's a political movement. It's a Marxist, communist, godless movement. And it has nothing to do with black lives. And all these people riding around with black lives on their vehicles and t-shirts, they don't care about you. They're just using you to get to what they want. Like I said in the beginning of the video, what can you do for me? I don't care about you. I don't care what you want. What can you do for me? And that's why the devil uses people and he leads them around. He puts a leash around their neck and leads them around and eventually leads them straight to hell. That's where they end up. This godlessness spirit that's in America is just going to permeate. It's going to get worse until America turns back. You heard it here. You may not like what I had to say, but it's the truth. It's just flat out truth. And what I say can be backed up biblically, and that's all that matters in the end. Take care. God bless each and every one of you. Quick update on my brother. He has made a miraculous recovery. He's still got a little ways to go. He's still a little weak, but he's up in a chair now. Remember, Monday into Tuesday, the doctor told my mother he was going to die. There was nothing else they could do for him to go get his affairs in order, meaning go make funeral arrangements, which my mother started to do. This was Monday and Tuesday. The doctor told her this. By Friday, he was in a chair, off the ventilator, on the telephone or his cell phone, jibber-jabbering like normal. I mean, you know, it's just a miracle. It's a miracle to God Almighty. And people say there is no God, and I just look at them and I shake my head and I say, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're saying, because yes, there is a God. Yes, he's real. Yes, he sent his son Jesus Christ down to this earth to save mankind. All of that is true. Take care. God bless. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.